Thank you, sir, for your valuable insight. Sir, it's a pleasure to have you on this program with us today. Can we continue with the questions, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, sir. I have a question, and I'm sure that many of the parents and teachers are curious about it. There are studies that say that students have missed out on 23 social skills upon not being able to attend school physically. The younger
Yeah.
ones have not yet returned to school from the fear of current situation. Do you think we should continue to go to school, or would you suggest we stay home?
Well, see, we have been, I mean, I've seen children being at home for last 2 years, and now we are seeing that the virus is not that alarming in other countries wherever it is available, wherever it is already prevailing. And second thing is we have this one already of the vaccine being given to adults, and most of the adults are protected. Our main concern was the vulnerable group, adults who are more affected. They should be protected first so that the virus does not have, it doesn't cause more admissions or deaths or any other thing. So I would suggest this virus, I mean, slowly is getting milder, hopefully. And all the adults in the families are mostly vaccinated. So children should start going to school. We should not fear because somewhere we have to take a call. There's nothing much. Variants will keep coming. Cases may rise up and down. It's like your influenza. Every year in December, you'll see a sudden rise of cold and cough. All children will be going to pediatricians to show them. It may be the same thing now. That variant will come, the cases will rise again, the things will go down and things will be fine. So the take home is, I think parents should start sending the children to school. Whatever precautions the children will take, the parents also will take care of that. The school also will take care of that. And I hopefully nothing would happen. It would be good for the children to come back into a routine, and we should not be scared by going on saying that okay, not this time, next time. There's no end to that. Let us somewhere take a call, start sending children, and then hopefully things should start getting better.
Thank you, sir. We will make sure to take precautions and get back into our routine now, sir. Let's move on to the next question. Doctor, even though we have not been yet vaccinated, our parents and teachers have. With 2 doses, how far does the vaccine prevent the new variants of COVID?
See, vaccine, luckily for us, we have seen that vaccine is the only thing which is available for us to protect against COVID. So we have seen the vaccine, people who are vaccinated are not getting severe illnesses. They are not going into ICUs and other things. So vaccine is definitely protective. And whatever variants come, there may be a little people who are having, who have had vaccines will develop little fever, cold cough, but definitely as of now, we know that they are not going to develop severe disease. So there is no problem. And luckily, we have seen children, even though the first and second wave were very, very virulent, very, very bad for them, but children have not been affected. When children were not affected in the first and second wave, I don't see any reason why they should suddenly start becoming vulnerable and becoming susceptible in the third wave. So we are hoping that same thing continues. Children will still be protected in the third wave also. And with most of the children, people getting vaccinated or whether getting the infection, hopefully it will not be a bad thing from here on.
Sir, thank you for that. It was very informative, and I'm sure our teachers are somewhat at ease to find an answer finally.
Doctor, allow me to continue with the next question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Is the media blowing the variant out of proportion, or they actually describing what it really is? What is a reliable source to get accurate information about the new variant?
Yeah, the media is doing their work. They are only reporting what they are seeing. As I told you, the new variant will come. Once a new variant comes, the number of cases will go up. That is not our cause of concern at all. We have to take precautions. We have to ensure that we are wearing mask sanitizer. And once the cases go up, after some time they come down. Our main concern initially was that we are losing a lot of patients. They were going into ICUs. There were a lot of deaths and all that. So right now, what we are seeing is there are not many admissions into hospitals or ICUs. So the most reliable source, of course, like WHO is saying, if you read the WHO statements which they are giving, they say that it is on a rise. They are always saying cases are increasing. Why they are saying? Because even if suppose you take 100 people, if cases rise, even if 2-3 people or 10 people go into the hospital, it's a big burden on the hospital. They may not have severe disease, they may not die, they may not have any problem. But even then, getting admitted to the hospital gives a lot of strain on the medical system, whether it's the government hospitals or the private hospitals. So that is what they are saying. The cases are rising. There's no mention about whether we are having more mortality or not. But even cases rising, it is our duty to protect ourselves and prevent these cases by wearing masks, taking all the proper hygienic precautions. So I think the WHO bulletin is good enough for us to know about what is happening. But we have to be very clear in what we are understanding of those bulletins. Cases are rising, but we are not having problems. That is very most important that we have to see.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable information. Next question. What age group is affected the most by Omicron?
Even now, Omicron is only, we are seeing whatever reports we have got from all the studies, it is only the adults and vulnerable age group, that is people above 60. Even now, we are not seeing too many children. Now, what is happening is children, if they show cold, cough, and fever, we are testing children. Adults are already vaccinated, so many of them may not be testing. So we are seeing people are saying that, oh, children are getting affected, but children are still having only mild disease. So age group is still the same vulnerable age group, which is adults and above 60.
Doctor, I'm actually curious now. You keep saying that Omicron is much milder, but it is affecting more people. So do you think the government will take another step and like put us in a lockdown once again because of Omicron?
No, I think government is watching all this thing carefully. If you see a few of the countries initially when Omicron was discovered, and then for 2 weeks, we went into a new knee-jerk reaction. We stopped flights and so many things happened. Now people are understanding the severity. If you see Australia and many other countries have slowly started opening up their flights. So people know that, okay, this is what is happening. It's not a more dangerous thing. So as of now, we are not seeing any very severe diseases with Omicron. So I don't think with this sort of a thing, the government would go into a major lockdown or any such thing, but definitely government would be watching which all pockets are having more cases or from where more cases are coming, and appropriate sectional precautions would be taken at certain times.
Thank you, sir. It was really helpful for us to understand where we exactly stand with the new variant. And also there has been a news that a Bengaluru doctor that was infected with Omicron said that he got better with monoclonal antibody treatment. So is it actually working?
Monoclonal antibody treatment definitely works. That is one of the things which is working against this one, but against COVID. But the thing is, it has to be given early in the disease. So it has to be given within the first 4 or 5 days of knowing that you have got corona. And second thing is the cost factor. It cannot be given to everybody because it's very costly. Each one dose costs around 60,000 or something. But those who have taken monoclonal antibodies have definitely responded. So it is one way. It is a good. I mean, it's definitely a protective thing against. It works.
Thank you, sir.
Doctor, as a school management, I would want to ask you one question. Like, I understand for almost 18 months, all our parents were under fear and for their children's health, and they didn't let them out. So what precautions do you think as an organization that we have to take an extra, like, we have all these masks and sanitizers around. Do you recommend any further precautions, or is it just the fear factor that we have to reduce?
A fear factor has to be reduced. See, somewhere we have to accept the situation also. We have to accept what is going on around us, and then we have to weigh the pros and cons and then act accordingly. So if we are seeing that it is not really affecting lives too much, we have to go ahead and get into our routine as soon as possible. And as a school management, I mean, what else can you do apart from asking the children to take all the precautions? Maybe you can sanitize the school once a day or whenever, just with before they come into the school. And that is the only thing. It's very difficult for children to be with mask and all. We know that, but still, I think since children are not being affected that much, I still feel with whatever minimum precautions they are there, they are good to go. They should be fine.
Thank you so much. So, do you recommend the younger ones can return back to school because they're the one who are missing out on the school time, actually, like the physical school time. So, but the parents are apprehensive. They are waiting for the government to say yes for the vaccine, so that they said only after vaccination is when I will be able to send my children to school. So I'm really, I mean, I appreciate their concern for their children, but what is your take on this?
Yeah. See, ultimately, first and foremost is the government giving permission for the schools to reopen and what age group they are telling. They say if the government says you can open the school for everybody, that's fine. So government has given a clearance. That's the first step. Second thing is obviously it's the parents this one role what they want to take out. We can assure the parents that these are not mild. Younger the children, they are definitely not being affected. We have seen that especially below 6 years, we hardly see any cases of them, no complications. So the parents have to take a call because we have seen that these children are not being affected. So I don't see any reason for them to, till when will we keep? After Omicron, we'll definitely have one more variant. So till when will we go on doing that? We have to sway the variant and then probably go ahead. It is good. Maybe these children are getting mild disease. They all get into herd immunity and soon the pandemic will come to an end. So as long as it is not a life-threatening or a very serious this one, I think parents should take a call and slowly start sending the children to school if everything is fine.
I mean, I'm so happy to hear this because, this is something which was really bothering all our younger, student parents, because the older kids still, some of them could get to school and college, but the younger ones are really missing out that, one-on-one session with their friends or their teachers and all. So every time they say that only why do we have to stay back home? So this is a bigger question for all the teachers and also the parents, that we are not able to answer all this.
Yeah, that's what I said. See, from my side, I think if everything is fine and we are not seeing too much of bad disease, from my side, so I would feel that somewhere the parents have to take a call and start sending the children. But ultimately, it is up to them. But that is what it is. Somewhere we have to take a call and start. When will we start? There has to be a time. We can't wait for the pandemic to end, or we can't wait for forever for these things.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Right.
Sir, I personally love animals. We actually have 2 dogs. So there were many queries about this topic when we collected questions from our friends. Actually, is it possible for my dog to be carrying virus on his fur and body? And what are some precautions that can be taken so that my dog as well as my family is safe from COVID and otherwise?
It's a dog, or whether it's a sibling, or whether it's a table, chair, everything can carry a virus. So there's no difference. You have to take your precautions. Dog has got nothing to do with the spreading the virus or any such thing. Luckily, we have not yet seen too many transmissions like that. Very rarely, though, we are seeing here and there that animals are affected. But whether it's a dog or it's a sibling, you have to take the same precautions. You have to wear your mask, or you have to sanitize your hand, whatever you can, you have to do that. That is the only thing. Don't treat it as something which is going to give you the virus. It's not nothing like that. It's a dog or anything, you can treat them normally.
Thank you, sir. And the next question is, even after WHO said that Omicron is not very much dangerous, the UK received their first death recently. So what is your take on it?
See, something not being dangerous and the death are something not related. See, you can have deaths with any disease. I will tell that malaria is not dangerous. I would tell that influenza is not dangerous, but still we have around 20,000 deaths of influenza per year. So that has got nothing to do with this one. There could be 101 reasons which could have led to the death of that person. We just know that he was infected with Omicron, but we don't know the other things about it. So this is a very, very minor thing. If you are getting one death, it is, I mean, it's a good news actually, if you see, because we don't know. That could be some 101 things. Had we seen that there are thousands of deaths, then we would have been worried like what we saw in the second wave. So this has got, I don't think, anything to do with the virus as such. So that obviously he was infected with the virus, but there might be many more things into that.
That was truly eye-opening, sir. Thank you.
Right.
Yes, sir. Moving on, sir. If a person just recovered from COVID-19, How effective are these antibodies with the new variant?
As of now, we are seeing even the patient is whether he is affected with COVID or he has received the vaccination, they are effective. Even if they are getting infected by the virus, they are not having any complications. So definitely, whether you are infected with COVID or you have taken the vaccination, it's the same thing. Your antibodies are working as of now. So we hope that it continues that way and nothing major happens in future.
Yeah, thank you, sir. That was truly informative. And the next question is the Omicron having similar properties compared to COVID, or it is another type of pathogen altogether?
No, it's just a mutant. So just what happens in a mutant, you have a virus. Suppose you have 10 horns picking out of the virus. The new mutant will have say 9, or it can have 12 horns poking out of it. So it's just the same thing with a little difference. So what happens is you have developed a virus to a spike protein. It will work, but there will be some proteins which are extra which can cause the disease. But still the proteins of the previous virus will definitely the antibodies or whatever vaccination you have taken will definitely protect with the against the other proteins of the virus. So you will definitely be protected. These mutations will keep coming. Nothing to worry about it. But your antibodies and your vaccination will definitely protect against.
Okay, thank you, sir. That was really informative.
So with all these insights, it eased our hearts a lot. And I'm sure that the audience received answers to the questions that were pressing them for a really long time. The fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself. With everything that's happening right now, fear prevails in every one of us because we did not have a reliable source to get the information. Thank you for your expertise, Doctor. We are more at ease now, and I'm sure my friends, parents, and teachers are too. If anyone has any further questions, you can reach out to Dr. Manish at Pranam Hospitals.
Thank you very much. That was really nice. I hope that parents have benefited a bit, at least from my talk. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is quite informative, and I'm sure most of the parents are at a lot of ease currently. And the students make sure that you follow all the possible things that that you have to take care, and don't be at ease just because you're allowed to come outside. Don't just take it for granted. Yeah. Thank you so much, Doctor. I was really an eye opener actually in many areas for us too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think we can exit. Thank you, students. I was